Yo, what's up, YouTube? Yo, you think that MF Doom is hip hop's most creative rapper? Because I honestly feel that way, right?
Every artist have a story, whether you're the smallest artist or the biggest artist. What will define you is your preparation. The great Nipsey Hussle once said, luck is just being prepared at all times, so when the door opens, you're ready. This is my journey. You think I'm playing?
Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Dagger, aka Red Robe. Welcome back to the channel. How y'all doing out there? Now, today we're talking about MF Doom, man. Is he hip-hop's greatest rap concept? Because I think so, man. I think he is hip-hop's greatest concept. The one thing that I was thinking about with MF Doom when I, just started getting my thought process together for this video was that he got a cult following, so I don't want to really do too much. And also, I don't want to go too far back into his history, because if you want to do that, there's like 1,000, maybe 100,000 videos on YouTube about his history and his background and stuff. I just want to more so focus on his creativity, man. His approach to music and his approach to being an artist, and there's something to admire and something to really study, man. Like, it is just like one of those things that like you gotta like really sit down and study because he was so witty and so like creative when it came to like his art that you're just not gonna get it in just one listen. You're not just gonna get it by just listening to his music one time. You gotta really just like sit there and listen to his music. I grew up in the islands. A lot of times, like, we only get the rappers that are signed to big major record labels. We might get a lot of like Tupac, we might get a lot of like Biggie, we might get a lot of like Jay-Z, like the big popular rappers, coming up in the time. I'm talking about like in the earlier, like, the late 90s, coming up early 2000s and stuff. Like, you got a lot of like the more famous rappers. So I personally didn't get to listen to Doom till I left the Caribbean, to be honest with you. When I left the Caribbean and I was like on the New York scene, that's when I like started hearing more Doom's music. Somebody might reference it more to me, but in the islands I never got it a lot. But once I got the music, once I listened to it, and once I got the whole concept, then I was like, oh shit, this shit is dope. What really blew me away was his approach to being an artist. He wanted to do it more so not as a personal thing, but more so as a writer.
I look at it like, I'm a writer, like the same way with the skits. Like have the record tell a story, you know what I'm saying? Like, have little intervals where, it's like cut scenes, you know what I'm saying? To where, yeah, to me, everything just flows better when I got multiple characters to portray the story.
A lot of times, like, when you approach music as an artist, like, you approach music as yourself, and that was not his way of doing it. And that's what really blew me away about his artist approach and his production approach and everything.
The idea of having different characters really just to get the storyline across. Coming from one particular character all the time makes, to me, the story boring. I get that mainly from novels and that style of writing, you know what I mean, or movies, you know what I'm saying, where there's multiple characters to carry the storyline. It all might be written by one writer, you know what I mean, or directed by one director, but there's multiple characters in order to, I think, a lot of times in hip-hop especially, artists get kind of pigeonholed into being like, if you're the guy, and that's, it's kind of limiting in a way.
So, you heard what he said. He said that, it gets boring kind of just rapping about yourself all the time. So he creates these personalities and rap from their perspectives, which is super dope, which is super creative. No other rapper was doing that. And it's super smart, you know what I'm saying? I think that was really, really, really a genius move on his part, playing different type of personalities on the records and rapping from there, where you don't really have to be yourself and you don't have to say anything personal. You're not rapping about yourself. You're a metal face, you know, saying guy that wants to take over the world, and that's the perspective that you're rapping from. You're a three-headed monster that's using mind control to conquer the world and stuff. That's the perspective you're rapping from. So that is just the most creative approach in hip-hop that I've seen. A lot of rappers just want to rap about like drugs and sex and like violence.
Everything besides the music, like what you look like, the sound of your name, to what you're wearing, the brand of clothing.
You know, that was not his approach. His approach was more theatrical, in my opinion.
Novels and that style of writing, you know what I mean, or movies, you know what I'm saying, where there's multiple characters to carry the storyline.
He was thinking from like a movie perspective, like what if I was in the movie and I was this guy, you know what I'm saying? So that was creative. And he was also a very, very incredible producer. Like he produced most of his stuff, you know what I'm saying?
What I usually do when I'm producing a record, I'll come up with the beat first, you know, then the beat will inspire the lyrics, you know what I'm saying? So,
and that's also another thing that is very creative, like to be able to create the music that you're gonna, you know, like you're gonna create these stories and then you're gonna create the soundtrack to these personalities. And his approach for that was just crazy. His sampling of cartoons, he used like old 80s, 70s cartoons and stuff, sample that, you know, records. And his approach to just how he made the records and used the cartoons like to tell the stories over the beats.
Many among you had their minds taken over. What a story! Start snapping. Dude, gosh, I wish I'd brought my autograph book.
It's just super creative. Like a lot of people don't approach rap like that, and him being a dope rapper, like him just being creative with words, being able to just use words in many ways, his rhyme schemes and stuff was just, you know, I say like crazy. Like you really got to sit there and listen to his music and kind of just like understand what he was saying, and his rhyme schemes was just crazy. So he was super dope, super creative. Like he's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know, he could have possibly done this act right up to an old age, you know what I mean? He could have done this act right up to an old age, just because he never showed his face. It was not about how he looked.
So the Mask is really a testament to, yo, it's not about none of that. It's straight about the wreck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be any color or whatever, you know what I'm saying? The Mask represents just everybody, you know what I'm saying? To where, yo, nothing matters, brand of clothing, none of that matters. It's just a matter how you spit and the beats, how the beats is raw, then that's what's about.
It was more about just basically just writing some real cool concepts. And that approach is, you know, not an approach that a lot of people use these days. Like these days, you don't hear artists really just coming up with cool concepts and cool way to give the world themselves as an artist, and that's what he was doing. And of course, you know, back then a lot of rappers and a lot of artists tried a lot of different approach to being an artist. Of course, he's not the first person to wear like a mask over his face and not show his face and stuff. Like, you know, Prince and those guys did things like that, and a lot of other people that did the whole mask over the face and not showing their face for their entire careers. But that was the beauty of it. He was able to separate himself from the personalities that he created and just be him when he's home, probably, you know, when he's not rapping. And, you know, I just love that approach, man. I just love that approach. I think it was very creative, and probably the most creative thing that I seen in hip-hop, you know. So rest in peace to the villain, and you know, one of the most creative, if not the most creative rapper that I ever seen touch the mic. But that's my video for the day, man. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I always say have a great weekend because I usually film my videos on Fridays, so it's like going into the weekend. So I always say have a great weekend. So you guys have a great weekend. It's Robe. We out. Peace.